I heard a little something a while ago I'd like to repeat. It come from, I believe it was Billy Sunday that made the remark. There's a boy that had done a crime. I don't know whether you ever heard of it or not. He'd done a crime that threw him in jail, and and so he had a trial, and the judge said, and the jury come out and they said, we find the boy guilty of the crime, and the jury said, we ask for his life. And the judge said, I sentence you to die hanging from a rope until your mortal life is gone, and God have mercy on your soul. And the boy was taken to the prison and put in the inner prison that he'd have to stay there until the time he was to die. And friends come to the judge and said, Judge, we help elect you in the city. Please, please don't let that young fellow die like that. I just come from Texas for another something like that, a young man and a young woman, and God spared their lives just to die about 3 or 4 days after that. I guess you all seen the paper, you was with me over there, that they spared their lives. So they pleaded and pleaded and pleaded, the people, and it wouldn't do it. So after a while, at the governor of the state, the mother on the outside of the door one day fell down on the door like that and cried to let get in. And finally the man come in and said, the mother of that boy, governor, is outside there. She won't see. And the governor said, bring her in. And the woman in humility crawled on her hands and feet up to the governor, took a hold of his shoes and said, Sir, that's my child. Don't kill him. Don't kill him. He's the only one I got. Don't kill him. Said he didn't mean to do that. Just give him life in prison, but don't take his life, Governor. The governor said, well, I'll go down and see him. Said, all right. So the governor went down to the ward where he was at, and they went in. The boy wanted to be arrogant. Said, got someone to see you. And the governor went in and said, young man, I'd like to talk to you. He got real arrogant. Just sat down, buttoned up, wouldn't say a thing. He said, young man, I want you to speak to me. I want to talk to you. And the boy just acted like he didn't even hear him. And he said, young man, I can help you if you'll let me say, get out of here. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. He said, well, son, he said, shut up. Don't you see I'm nervous? I don't want to hear one word you're going to say. He said, well, I come. He said, get out of this cell. So he walked out. They closed the doors. So when he walked back, the guy, the police at the ward at the door said, oh, you're the most foolish person. He said, who was that crank anyhow? He said, that was the governor of the state. He said, no, not the governor. The only man that can pardon me. And I run him out of my cell. The only man that can sign my pardon, and I run him out of the cell. And as the governor went out, said, he made his choice. So the last thing the boy said, when they put the black mask over his face to hang him, when they pulled the rope up tight, put the mask over it, said, think of it, the governor stood in my cell and would have pardoned me if I hadn't turned him out. How do we know this morning that the governor's not standing by our cell this morning? Don't turn him away. If you haven't never received pardon from him, not only the governor, but the king, the only one who can pardon you, he may be standing in that little cell that you've been living in for a long time. Won't you just let him in if you haven't done it? If you haven't made a complete surrender to him, someday you'll find out that this little humble way that you might think is just a bunch of silliness, a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking about, you'll find out the governor's here this morning. If you have need, if you're in a little cell of sickness, you can't get out, the governor's here. The governor of the world. He's just, and He'll turn you out. He signed your pardon. He just wants to give it to you this morning. Don't turn it down.